one. He knows it. His team historically has not finished these kinds of situations that well. He knows that. He's a worried man right now.
The referees, Mike Mathis, Bill Oakes, and Eddie F. Rush. Game 5 is underway, and the tip ends up in the hands of Kenny Smith. Now, here's a guy, when he starts fast, Houston really plays a complete basketball game. He's had good moments, especially in the first round. Chilcutt missing outside. Ori, who had 17 rebounds Sunday, tips it outside.
I'm Rudy Tomjanovich tonight. I'm just saying to my team, hey, play loose, baby. We got nothing to lose. I'm proud of you. You got one championship. Fire up those threes.
Now, here's the guy that can get him started if he can hit something early. The rebound to A.C. Green, and what a playoff series A.C. Green is averaging. He's averaging 12.3 rebounds. Kevin Johnson, who had 43, a career playoff high Sunday. Into Barkley, had 26 points, 9 rebounds in Game 4. Inside.
Charles Barkley from Wesley.
Ori tried to play him single coverage. The trap came late. It was Olajuwon that came over, but he got there way too late.
Pete Chilcutt looking inside. Here's Drexler. We mentioned he's very ill. It's the same problem Barkley had, Cassell has had. He was dehydrated. But we'll see how long he can go tonight. Ori from outside a 3, and Ori, when he shoots well outside, he really starts to stretch the defense.
Well, that's what they try to do. That's how they won a championship last year. Only, Gary, last year was easier because the distance of the 3 was longer.
Here's Barkley taking it inside, and Chuck draws. No, he traveled with it. Barkley didn't believe that call. A call coming from Eddie F. Rush. It'll turn it over to the Houston Rockets.
Right now, when Phoenix is double teaming Olajuwon inside, they're sending Kevin Johnson, then he ends up rotating to the corner. Pete Chilcutt can shoot over him from there.
Out it comes to Ori. Kenny Smith, who in the first round had 17 threes. Whoa, bad looking shot by Hakeem. He didn't hit anything.
You don't see that often.
No, you don't. Rockets lead it by 1, 3-2. Kevin Johnson to Person. Person had 16 points Sunday. Doesn't get the shot to go. Hakeem with a rebound. Kenny Smith off to the trailing Ori. Ori the follow away. And A.C. Green inside position again for the defensive board. Up it comes to Barkley. And Barkley hits the floor hard. Followed by A.C. Goaltending on Hakeem Olajuwon.
A.C. Green reminds me of that cartoon where they say he's everywhere, he's everywhere. And he certainly seems to be everywhere for the Phoenix Suns. Barkley goes inside, can't quite get the finish, but there's A.C. Green. He is everywhere. Goaltending.
A.C. Green has taken his play up about 2 notches since they've come into the playoffs. Here's Hakeem to the hole. So after that air ball, he decided to go a little closer this time.
It'll be interesting to see how he holds up. He has been wearing down in this series.
Kevin Johnson kicks it out to Klein. Klein has been brilliant, shooting 64% against this Rocket team. Green tries to follow Barkley, and Barkley draws a foul. Good effort again by the Suns. Green started all of that. Barkley thought he was shooting, but they're calling it a loose ball foul, so there'll be no free throw coming.
You know, I've found over the years that these players are amazingly correct for a very high percentage of the time.
Didn't you think he was shooting too?
I absolutely did.
And it comes to Kevin Johnson, 9:23 to go in the first quarter. The Rockets by 1, 5-4. Barkley out to Klein. Wesley Person, who had 7 straight points in the fourth quarter Sunday, hits the 3 from outside.
Paul Westphal felt that Wesley Person was a key in Game 4. He got those 16 points, especially when they needed them. They needed a third scorer.
Chilcutt from outside, and the rebound to A.C. Green. 5 rebounds already for A.C. to Kevin Johnson to the hole.
Now you can forget that. That's not getting the moment of truth where Rudy Tomjanovich wants it. He wants him stopped further out on the court, and that's exactly why.
Kevin Johnson shot 75% in that 43-point effort on Sunday. In it comes Olajuwon backing in on Klein. The double comes. Outside is Ori, another 3 on the way. And you saw a little nudge inside. Barkley getting position for the rebound. Barkley trying to take it coast to coast. It's going to be off of the Suns.
One of the positive signs I see out here is the Suns are not coming out as if they're overconfident, Gary. They're coming out and they're trying to play with a lot of energy so that they don't want Houston to think that there's any life at all. They want to kill that snake.
I think another way to put it, they are focused early here. That was a delay of game call against the Phoenix Suns. Now in with the ball is Kenny Smith. He hits the three. Kenny Smith really has struggled in this series, shooting only 27% from three-point land after shooting 63% against Utah. Kevin Johnson against Kenny Smith at the other end. Chilcott with a rebound.
A lot of teams like to play Kevin Johnson by giving him the jump shot, but he's even starting to hit threes.
That's off AC. AC hustling after Kenny Smith. They have 12 seconds on the shot clock. Smith off to Akeem. Joe Klein staying with him. Akeem with so many moves. Doesn't get it, and another rebound. 6 for Green. Temple up now by Kevin Johnson. In it goes to AC. He gets the foul from Chilcott. And AC Green right now, he is relentless at both ends of the floor.
Gary, remember this AC Green is an unbelievably high-energy guy. Wherever he goes, he plays and leads that team farther and farther into the playoffs. Obviously, with the Lakers, he got some championship rings. He'd like to help Phoenix get one as well.
He won 2 titles in '87 and '88, 4 NBA finals. The foul was on Chilcott, his second, and AC Green at the line. He has missed only 1 free throw, and I just jinxed him. In the entire playoffs, he was 40 of 41 prior to that one.
And 21 for 21 in this series against Houston.
So AC will reload it again. Chilcott is now coming out of the ball game. Chucky Brown has checked in, the first substitution for Rudy Tomjanovich. 9-8, the Suns by 1, 7:33 to go. First quarter, game 5. How about that? After missing only 1, now he misses 2 in a row.
Things happen.
I think there's a slogan that I'm not sure.
I cleaned it up for you.
I was going to say, Chucky Brown missing. There's Green with his 7th rebound. Green's going to take it all the way in, kicks it back out into the hands of Kenny Smith. Smith's so fast with the ball on the open floor to Drexler. Can't finish, and KJ got a piece of it. Kevin Johnson thought he had all ball, but it'll be a foul on Kevin Johnson.
But Clyde Drexler made his case right away. I would say Mr. Drexler took a little umbrage with that call. He wanted it right away, and he said, no doubt, I got fouled.
Clyde Drexler has been so key to the playoffs. He was big against Utah after starting out slowly. Had a 41-point game, had a 30 and a 31-point game. You can see what he's averaging in the second round. Not quite as effective. And this shows you the drop-off from round 1 to round 2.
Well, it's been dramatic in every category, but sometimes when a player comes in sick, he kind of marshals up all that competitive juice and adrenaline that's inside him, and he sometimes can come out with a stellar performance. It'll be interesting to see how this unfolds for Clyde Drexler.
Well, neither team shooting free throws. Drexler misses both of his after Green did earlier. Flying into AC, and 3 seconds in the lane against the Suns.
That looked like a Boy Scout jamboree in that lane. There was a lot of white shirts camping out there.
Timeout, Phoenix. 6:53 to go in this first quarter. The Suns lead it by 1. Let's update you on what's happened in the previous 4 games. The Suns won games 1 and 2 by an average of 23 points. Then they lost game 3 by a whopping 33 points, trailed by 15 points in the third quarter in game 4, and pulled it out.
Well, when we spoke to Paul Westphal, I said, can you explain to me what that was? What was that? You were such a purposeful team against Portland. I was very impressed. He said, Dick, I can't explain it. Not in 2 sentences, not in 20.
Well, how can you explain Barkley going 0 for 10 from the field?
You can. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you get an 0 for. Ask Tim Hardaway.
Out it comes now to Drexler inside, high low to Akeem. Akeem can't get it to go. Akeem not shooting well early. Here comes Barkley on the move. Barkley likes to launch a 3 early in a ball game just to leave his trademark. The rebound to Olajuwon. Olajuwon's 1 of 4 from the field in the early going. Here's Kenny Smith hung up to Chucky Brown. Into Akeem again. The double team coming from AC Green. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Horry looks up with 6. He's going to launch another 3, and the rebound to AC Green. And AC Green is just dominating the defensive boards.
Well, you know, Chucky Brown was wide open. When you miss those opportunities, you can't buy him back. It was an easy basket. Horry ended up taking a difficult shot, and there's your man, Mr. Green, with the rebound.
The double team comes on Barkley and Klein trying to make him pay. Look at Barkley hustle to come up with a rebound and a second effort. And Klein didn't see the ball. He was looking the other way and went right by him. Kenny Smith blocked by Kevin Johnson. What a defensive effort by KJ. Person with a three.
Oh, there's an exclamation point on that one.
Assist Kevin Johnson.
12-8, the Suns with the lead. Elijah on baseline, not there. Rebound to Kevin. Boy, that was a big moment for the Suns. Person again. Rebound Barkley. Barkley trying to get it back up and in.
Charles Barkley.
But you talk about two back-to-back remarkable plays. A defensive effort, and then Person just nailed him with that three.
Well, you know, we remember from our grammar days, the long line with the dot. That's an exclamation point, and that's exactly what Wesley Person did to the block by Kevin Johnson.
After an errant pass, the Suns, I would say, recovered pretty well. 4:43 to go. This crowd is rocking here at America West Arena. 3 seconds on the shot clock, and Ori this time delivers. Boy, he's getting a lot of looks from behind the line.
Well, you know, I'm not so sure that Rudy T didn't say to his team, stay loose, fire up the threes, see what we can get going.
6 points now for Robert Ori. Ori had only 3 points Sunday's game to go with that career high of 17 rebounds. Klein from outside. If he can't hit that, that will make a lot of difference because the team won't come out and respect him.
Well, he certainly didn't that time. Gave him 8 feet.
Drexler from outside. Green with another rebound.
Got a free one.
And Barkley releasing quickly. We're going to have a technical on Barkley for hanging on to the rim. Eddie F. Rush has called the T on Charles. He felt he was hanging on too long.
I kind of felt he was too. But hey, it's one of those things that I think common sense can kind of permeate the situation. And you can let some common sense come in, Gary. Let's take a look at it. I hung a little bit, put a little of his own exclamation point on it. He wanted to get the crowd involved here in America West Arena. Eddie F. Rush had a different viewpoint. Said, hey, that's too much celebrating. You got the T, lad.
Well, he did get the crowd into it. As Person and Klein check out of the ball game, Barkley's still talking to Rush. You've got to be careful to get another T as Marley comes into the ball game along with Wayman Tisdale.
Well, I felt there was a little bit of a celebration here. He was kind of giving a little twist. But you know, Gary, the large overview is that's only 1 point they're going to get. They were going to get the ball back anyway. And if you can get the crowd involved, it's well worth it, especially early in the game.
It's got Barkley involved. He is still jawing over here.
You know, Gary, anything that can keep your team focused and purposeful when you are facing a team that has a great lob there. I'm sorry I missed that, but when you have a guy like Clyde Drexler and he's hurt, and this other team knows that, anything that can help them stay focused is good.
Yep, Barkley inside. The double team was there, but he still split the defenders. Makes it 18-15. Barkley now with 8 points in the ball game. 18-15 with 3:34 left in the first quarter. Elijah on. He has such balance when he spins out to shoot the ball.
You're right, Gary. He's one of the unstoppable players in the league, and he has that unstoppable dream shake move.
And it comes now to Marley. Marley can't get him, and we have a loose ball foul against the Suns. He's going to go on Barkley. You know, Marley was 0 for 6 in the game Sunday. He's only scored 3 points for the last 2 games and misses that one inside. He needs to get some confidence going.
Well, they play Marley by playing him right up in his chest, and that pretty much takes him out of the game.
The Suns by 1, and we're going to take a break.
Well, Charles Barkley got himself in a little bit of a pickle here, Gary. He hung on the rim, and he picked up a technical, but this is not an unsportsmanlike technical, so he still has 2 to use if he cares to. Actually, he only has 1 to use, Gary, because if he gets 2, he's history.
So now the Houston Rockets down by 1, 3:17 to go in this first quarter of play. Into Ori. Ori off to a strong start. He has 6 points in the ball game. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Hakeem was 3 of 7 shooting. Ori tries to take it in against a double team. Awkward shot. Rebound put back by Chucky Brown. That's one of the few times AC Green wasn't there with the rebound.
Well, people have done studies, and 70% of missed shots come off on the other side. So you got to cover that other side if you're on defense. The Suns did not.
Rockets by 1, 19-18. Here's Ori, who's guarded Barkley now the last 3 games. Off it comes to Kevin Johnson. Johnson able to hit from outside. Kevin with 4. Suns by 1, 20-19. Olajuwon, quick catch, quick shoot, and Tisdale could do nothing with it.
No, that's the dream shake. There's no way you can stop it. He has to stop himself. He has to miss that.
Olajuwon leading everybody in scoring in the playoffs, over 32 points a game. That ball will be off of Houston. Suns will have 16 seconds on the shot clock. Mario Elie now is checking into the ball game. We get Drexler out of there. They want to be very cautious with Drexler early after having the flu-like symptoms.
I think a pretty courageous effort by Clyde Drexler to show up, and he took intravenous feedings, as Nicole mentioned, and you're pretty weak when that happens.
Well, Barkley can attest that. He had that in game 1 and responded brilliantly, and the Rockets hope Drexler can do as well. AC Green will inbound. 6 seconds on the shot clock now. And it comes to Barkley with 4. Into Marley. Marley hung up. 2 seconds. 1. Green got it up. But they really didn't get a good look. As Houston that time able to deflect the ball into the backcourt, then clamp down defensively, and a good stop for them.
As you notice, Gary Bender, it's a quiet place right now, because you look at the scoreboard, it's the Rockets 21 and the Suns 20. Suns came out with a lot of energy, but the Rockets on top.
You see the turnovers in this ball game thus far. 1:51 left now in this first quarter. The double on Hakeem. Kenny Smith with a tray. And I tell you, when he shoots well, he ignites his team. He can really set the tone for Houston.
He shoots ropes. You don't have to wait to see whether it's in or not.
24-20, biggest lead of the game for Houston. Kevin tries to answer. Rebound by Olajuwon. 4 rebounds for Hakeem, averaging just under 8 a game in the playoffs. Here's Kenny again, another 3. He feels it right now. AC Green with a rebound. He's in double figures in rebounds now with 10. Kevin Johnson pulling up again. Kevin's shot is there. When he starts hitting that, Dick, then's when he does that crossover move and takes you inside.
I'm not so sure, if I'm coaching against Kevin Johnson, that I don't double team him a little bit more than the Rockets are doing. And I would continue to give him the jump shot. I'd make him beat me with the jump shot.
24-22. Rockets. Chucky Brown to the hole, and he draws the foul. Chucky Brown, of course, starting the year in the CBA with the Yakima Sun Kings. Danny Shays is now going to come to the ball game. Barkley will sit down.
Number 24, Dan Shays, into the Suns lineup. But number
Watch the penetration here by Chucky Brown. This looks like a block, but you can see there's a lot of arm there. Chucky Brown finds himself on the line shooting a deuce.
And Marley with his first foul. Chucky Brown signed 2 10-day contracts, then signed for the remainder of the year. Played collegiately at North Carolina State and was named to the All-CBA team, and they went on to win the CBA title without him in Yakima.
Well, you know, some people have described the troika of Charlie Jones, Mario Elie, and Chucky Brown as the CBA 3-headed monster that has to guard Charles Barkley, but it's Robert Horry that's got the assignment tonight.
26-22, Houston with the advantage. 49 seconds left in the first quarter. Kevin Johnson working to an open space, not there. Olajuwon with the rebound.
Oh, how about this?
And there's Marley working around, gets it to AC, and he draws the foul. Heads up play by Marley. You know, Marley's not scoring, but he contributes defensively every night.
You know, Dan Marley is a guy that if he could dribble the basketball would be an all-star every year. This is the kind of thing that really is helpful when you see a guy like Hakeem Olajuwon wide open inside. Look at this. Come back from behind, come along the baseline, get yourself a possession for your team.
And Olajuwon picks up his first foul. AC Green at the line, and AC have to start another string now after missing his first 2 tonight. 26-23, Rockets, 38 seconds left now in this first quarter. They've called him the Green Machine. AC Green, the way he's been playing since the playoffs began, he's kind of set the tone as far as the energy is concerned for this Suns team.
I get the feeling you like him.
Not a bad player, you know that?
Who wouldn't like him?
I'd
I'd take him under my Christmas tree anytime.
He makes you a better coach, right?
Got that right.
Here's Hakeem again. 12 seconds on the shot clock. 24 on the game. Ellie sets up with his three. Ori with the rebound. Ori has really acquitted himself well here in the first quarter. Been very active. They're going to take the last shot now of the quarter. 11 seconds left in it. Ori dumps it into Olajuwon. The slasher inside. Good ball movement. And Chucky Brown with 5 seconds slams it home. 4-point lead for the Rockets. Wayman has time. That will count if it goes, but he leaves it short. And Houston has to be very pleased with their first 12 minutes here.
They certainly do. The Houston Rockets are tenacious. The snake is still wiggling.
You're absolutely got that right. 4-point lead now for the defending world champions.
Yes, but Phoenix still is alive and executing well. Take a look inside as the ball goes to Charles Barkley. He's going to have the ball right here. Here comes the double team. Now here is why KJ is so wide open. AC Green sets a screen and sets up this skip pass over here for KJ. And that is an excellent weak side action. See the nice screen inside by AC Green. Nice wide open jumper for KJ.
KJ 3 of 6 in the first quarter. In that first quarter, Houston attempted 11 threes. They hit 4. Tisdale can't get it to go. Tisdale struggled on Sunday. He was 1 of 5 shooting. Kenny Smith off to Ori. Mario Ellie dumps it off to Hakeem. I'll tell you, there's good ball movement right now for Houston. There's AC. That's his 12th rebound. AC will pull it out to Kevin Johnson. AC from outside. That's a 2. Danny Shays the putback.
And there was a matchup mix-up. That time, no one played AC Green. His reputation is you cannot give him that open shot.
Danny Shays, who played so well down the stretch in Game 4. Got a game ball for his efforts. Made about 5 big plays in the last 4 minutes. Ori with another 3. Not there. Kevin with a rebound. Tries to thread the needle inside of Marley, and this time Ori comes up with it. Ori has really been doing a nice job for this Houston team in the early going. He's kind of picked them up.
I think he's a very gifted player, and I think he's going to get better as he stays in the league. 3rd year in the league.
You can see Marley respecting the range of Kenny Smith. Smith will back it out. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Kenny ducks in. Nice move to the basket.
Yeah, I think he should do more of that. I think if he would take the ball to the basket more, people don't realize, unless you coach against them, Kenny Smith is an absolute jet. He's still got the jet on those feet. He can get to the basket. He should do it more.
The Rockets maintaining now their 4-point lead. 10-14 to go in the first half. Shays from outside. And the big guys, Klein and Shays, are not able to hit that face-up jumper from about 18 feet.
Well, the less they hit the shot, the more sag they're going to see, and the more congested it gets inside for Barkley.
Kenny Smith off to Olajuwon. Olajuwon pulling up with a face-up jumper. Kevin with another rebound ahead to Tisdale. The trailing Marley. Marley a little out of control, but they bail him out with a foul. As coming over and trying to come up defensively with that effort was Kenny Smith. That is his first foul. 9:51 to go in the first half. The Rockets on top by 4. By 4. Barkley in the early going with 8 points, 4 of 6 from the field. Let's check the other activity in the playoffs. How about that Orlando Magic team now, leading 3 games to 2, Dick?
Well, you know, history says the team that wins that 5th game most often goes on and wins the series. Chicago was making a big deal of that in the city of Chicago, where I live, sweet home Chicago. And I want to tell you something. It is a omen that I'm sure that Orlando was very, very happy about.
Well, you saw that Spurs score. They're down. Of course, they'd like to close that out at the Alamo Dome, not have to go back to the Great Western Forum. Kenny Smith's going to leave the ball game now. Sam Cassell comes in. Kenny Smith has 10 points in this ball game.
Gary, let's talk about tempo for a second here. This is an up-tempo game. I don't think Houston is getting back well defensively, though they're leading in this game. But I know that Phoenix wants to play up-tempo, so if both teams play it, there's going to be a lot of points put up tonight.
Well, there's a lot said about Game 4. The Houston wore down late, and Sam Cassell comes in and just promptly hits a 3, and the biggest lead of the ball game now for the Rockets.
There's no question in my mind. Rudy T said, hey, guys, lace up the threes, lace them up. Don't worry about making them.
That's the 13th attempt behind the line for Houston. And we still have 9:20 to go in the first half. Ori with a follow. Quickly the outlet to Mario Ellie. 3-on-2. Ellie to the hole. Offensive foul.
He's upset. He's very upset. He's very, very upset. And he has a reason. When your defender is that deep underneath the basket, the sort of an unwritten law. See, look, he's still moving. Elliot Perry's still moving. I'd be upset, too.
Elliot Perry, all 160 pounds of him. He took a pretty good hit that time, drawing the charging foul. 9:02 now left in the first half. The double on Barkley. Elliot Perry swings around to Wesley Person, the rookie from Auburn. What a sweet-looking stroke. A lot of people feel they remind him of Walter Davis, the same kind of shot from outside.
Well, he reminds me of a player that I coached, his brother Chuck. Who would have thought out of Brantley, Alabama, tiny Brantley, Alabama, 2 NBA players.
And he's 3 of 4 tonight behind the line is Wesley Person, who led all rookies in three-point field goal percentage. Drexler now coming into the lineup. And Chucky Brown to lead. So Drexler did not come to the shoot-around. Flu-like symptoms. Nicole Watson documented how he really was dehydrated, and so they'll watch him closely and see if he can continue on and be effective. There's a traveling call on Sam Cassell. Sam Cassell in the series had a 31-point game, and he scored those in 37 minutes.
Yeah, he's played well, you know, in this series. He's a guy that needs to step up huge tonight. He has to do 2 things. He has to play he has to play KJ, and he's got to put points up for the Rockets.
Danny Shays the follow away, and the center's not able to get it, but Darkley able to erase that miss.
There's that backside I'm talking about. 70% of missed shots come off over there. It doesn't make any sense that the defensive team would not have that backside covered.
Darkley with 10 points and 7 rebounds. Inside 8 minutes to go in the first half. Elijah unfouled. Shays knew he had given up inside position, reached in and committed his first foul. I don't think Hakeem liked that too much.
Very seldom do you see him complain. He's pretty much at peace with himself. He seems to play in some sort of a Zen state. Sometimes it's a Zen zone. But I think that he is somewhat fatigued. When the rebounding is down from that great player, that means fatigue is set in.
Elliot Perry, one of the best at stealing the ball, but he can't finish. Ori with the rebound. Ahead to Drexler. Drexler's going to take it to the hole. And we're going to have a blocking foul this time on Shays. Now, think that might be a make good?
No, I don't think so. I think that when you are underneath the basket, it's the worst thing in the world to see, and you see this a lot in college. Let's take a look underneath the basket. He's about a foot out from the basket. Really, from the dotted line on in, there's an imaginary 5-foot circle that circles that rim, and you can't get a charge in the NBA in that circle, and you shouldn't. Because what you'll have is you'll have guys flopping all over the place, and that's not good basketball.
Well, earlier, Elliot Perry was able to draw the charge. This time, Shays does not, sending Drexler to the line. And Drexler has given the Rockets a 2-point lead, 35-33. Angry crowd after that last development, as Marley with Drexler out on him. And deflected by Hakeem, Marley retrieves. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Inside to Shays, and Shays is fouled by Robert Ori. Danny Shays. Charles Barkley always kids Danny Shays. He says, you're not even the best player in your family. Of course, he's referring to his dad, Dolph, who's in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he certainly isn't the best player in the family. But he's done a good job, along with Joe Klein, of playing that high post forward. High post center position. And the reason that Jerry Colangelo made that change, he let go of his centers, he let go of Mark West, he let go of Oliver Miller. He knew that with Danny Manning and Charles Barkley and Wayman Tisdale, he's going to have plenty of low post scoring. So Jerry Colangelo simply, there he is sitting there, worried about his team, but he simply made a great move, I thought, by getting high post centers.
One of the reasons they did all that is to play this team here, Houston, who beat them last year in the semifinals 4-3, and they thought that Shays would really be a welcome addition to try to stay with Hakeem in some fashion.
I think it was a very astute move, and had they had Manning, I think they would be the favorite to win this championship. championship.
By the way, Danny Manny's celebrating his 29th birthday tomorrow. He's in civilian clothing on the bench with the Suns as Barkley backs it out. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Into the middle and down it goes.
As this game is evolving, I think that Paul Westphal is going to have to point the offense in the direction of Charles Barkley. You can't ask for a bravura performance like KJ gave him in Game 4.
Oh, my word. Did Shays get hammered there? Now, that was a legitimate hammering. There was no flop on that. Hakeem just ran over it. Look at this.
Well, you make the call. I just don't believe.
You don't buy it?
No, I don't buy it at all.
All right,
it's
we'll
a flop.
discuss it when we come back.
Right. Interesting. The way that Houston decides that they have to play Barkley. They play topside, but when the ball is in the air, they slide to the baseline. They're afraid of the spin. Then they bring the double team over, and that is a very effective way to play Charles Barkley. He's basically got to get rid of the ball.
All right, partner, let's look at this from another angle. You think Shays more or less put on his thespian clothes, but I thought it was a pretty good shot.
I just don't think Hakeem Olajuwon is strong enough to knock big Danny Shays flat on his back. Do I think it was his foul? Yes, it was his foul.
Okay. AC Green was going to try to get into the game, and then he couldn't get in time, so now the Suns are going to call a 20-second timeout. They wanted AC in for a matchup situation, and so Paul wasn't going to go any longer, so he stopped the ball, and he'll talk it over. 6:35 left. We've had 3 ties in this ball game, currently dead even at 37. If you look at the field goal shooting thus far, Dick, not all that impressive. The Rockets at 39, the Suns at 41.
Well, when you consider both teams are getting up and down pretty good, normally you get some finishes on the breaks. There have been some easy shots missed in transition. But if I'm Paul Westphal right now, I realize if I want to close this thing out, I've got to go to one horse or the other. I've either got to go to KJ, well, he's on the bench, so you got to run your offense through Barkley, and he's got to make things happen. He's got to score himself. He's got to get points for his team by throwing out of the double teams. But they've got to have some design to what they do. Pretty much the Phoenix offense has been kind of hodgepodge up till this point in the game.
And it comes now to Barkley, and Barkley inside. Charles Barkley now with 14 points. That's the game high. Both Olajuwon and Smith have 10 for the Rockets. 39-37, the Suns, 6:15 to go in the first half. They switched out now with Barkley on Drexler. That means Marley's got to guard Chilcutt. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Ellie to the hole, and that'll count, and we have a foul as well. Mario Ellie had a very similar play Sunday on a slashing move in the Summit.
Well, this former CBA All-Star adds an element to the Houston Rocket offense that they don't get in a lot of places. The ability to take the ball to the basket, and that's why they can combine drives to the basket, which I think Kenny Smith should also employ. Mario Ellie does it naturally. Sam Cassell could take the ball to the basket. Then it's going to set up those threes that they want even better.
So Olajuwon sitting down. Marley picking up his second foul. And it comes now to Barkley. Barkley, knowing Hakeem is not around, is going to work inside. Chilcutt with a rebound. Sam Cassell, the second-year man out of Florida State. As Paul Westphal put it, he's a slippery little guy. You got to watch him. He's very creative. Look at Elliott Perry, and he's tussled inside. And we're going to call a foul on Elliott Perry. Perry trying to front him and had too much contact. That'll be his first foul.
Well, he tried to front him too far out on the court. When you're that far out on the court, then you have to give up your front and slide back behind. Sam Cassell had a pretty good position here. And Elliott Perry simply, see how he tried to front outside. He's going to step around in front there. And then he just kind of grabbed Sam because he knew that he was going to slip to the basket.
Well, Elliott Perry did not play Sunday, and they have some matchup problems with him when they get him in there defensively. So now he's out of there as KJ replaces him. Double team on Cassell. Cassell in a lot of trouble. Overshoots the basket, and AC Green comes down with his 13th rebound. Rockets by 1, 40-39. Person outside to Marley. Marley needs one of these. And not there. He's 2 of 12 in this series prior to that behind the line.
Gary just doesn't get enough shots. A guy like Dan Marley has got to get his rhythm going. He's got to get shots.
That was a tough shot. Drexler fading away. Didn't have enough on it. Barkley with a rebound. That's 8 for Charles. Charles hung up in midair. Retrieves. Baseline. AC. AC working hard. Draws the foul from Pete Chokin. Kenny Smith now will come back into the Rockets lineup. And Cassell is going to leave. We have 4:49 left here in Game 5. The Suns trying to close out the reigning world champion Houston Rockets. They do not want to go back to Houston on Thursday.
KJ's back in the game now. You've got the two guns in. You've got Barkley in. You've got KJ in. You've got to put the game on their shoulders. If they can do it together, that's great. If one has to carry the load, that's all right too. But you don't want to go back to Houston. You don't want to start thinking about what could happen. You got to get it done right here if you're Phoenix. If you're Houston, Gary, you got to be happy about the turn of events. You got to be happy about the snake still wiggling.
Yeah. Chilcutt, by the way, sits down with 3 fouls. Don't forget the conclusion of our game. We'll be selecting the Budweiser player of the game. AC Green just missed another free throw. After going 40 for 41, he's missed 3 tonight, and he bangs that one in. We're tied at 40 now. Mike Mathis has spotted a foul, I think, on Barkley. After the free throw, a little tussle going on. He grabbed one of the Rockets, and so Barkley has committed his second personal foul.
I get a kick out of Charles. He just, you know, it's a subplot, and then it's another subplot. You look inside there, it wasn't much. It's just NBA players being NBA players. That was no big deal.
They're calling that a double foul. They called it on Chucky Brown and Charles Barkley. Here's Kenny Smith from outside, the 3, and he's looking like the Kenny Smith we saw in the first round against Utah.
Well, I'd be afraid of his drive. He had that one good drive to the basket. That's going to give him some space.
Andy Shays, the big centers, finally get one to go outside. The Schlein combination this time with Shays able to hit one facing up, and it cuts the Rockets lead to 1. Olajuwon backing in, a little jump hook of his. Rebound Barkley. Charles Barkley, he's going to try a 3. Rebound Olajuwon, and we're going to have a loose ball foul against the Suns. Paul Westphal a little perplexed in this early going. His team trailing by 1 at the 4:02 mark. That foul went on AC Green, his first.
You know, they say that, Gary, the most difficult thing that Hakeem Olajuwon has when he's double teamed is he doesn't like to be double teamed off the passer, because when he's double teamed off the passer, he finds that guy from the corner. See, he finds this guy least effectively. He finds guys on the weak side much better. And so teams know that. So often they'll double team off the passer unless that passer is a knockdown shooter like a Dan Marley.
Drexler weakened obviously by the flu symptoms, not shooting very well at the free throw line. Has 2 points thus far. He misses 2, and I don't think that was a set play, but it certainly worked well the way Chucky Brown followed on the miss.
Oh, that's just unbelievable. You know, NBA players should put a body on somebody on the free throw line.
45-42. You got to save that for an end of the game, huh?
Yeah, somebody fell asleep there.
Person trying to get into Barkley. Barkley with Brown on him. Suns a little hesitant right now offensively. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Barkley in to Shays. Shays is going to be fouled by Olajuwon. Hakeem now, that would be his 3rd. No, they're going to call it on Shays.
Well, you waiting for a reaction for me.
Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Well, you know, I've been preaching all night about that imaginary 5-foot circle. I thought the defender was in that 5-foot circle. I don't understand why that would be a foul. Unless he put the arm out. We'll have to take a look at that.
Well, that's a huge one because it would have been the 3rd on Olajuwon. Brown off to Drexler. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Clyde will try a 2. Barkley with a rebound. Barkley now in double figures with 10. Marley can't handle it. Drexler comes up with it. Drexler's so good in the open floor to the trailing alley. Chucky Brown there, and he gets it outside to Kenny Smith. 3 minutes now left in this first half. The Rockets leading by a 45-42 count. Chucky Brown inside, and Olajuwon with the follow.
I like the idea of Houston penetrating, putting pressure on the Houston defense, trying to compress that defense so that they can come out and lace up some more threes.
Well, Dick, we talked about the mental toughness of this team. They're not going to go quietly, are they? As Akeem with the putback, and the Rockets lead it by 5. Up at halftime, the Reebok halftime report. Ernie Johnson, our Atlanta studios, with Cleveland Cavaliers coach Mike Fratello. They'll have analysis of this first half, highlights of the Chicago-Orlando Lakers-Spurs games. We come back with 2:41 now left in this first half. Person takes Ellie inside, and Ellie got a piece of him. And now they're going to call that on Wesley Person. They say he leaned into Ellie.
Well, you know, that's a
And this crowd is irate, and Westfall is up. He is really upset.
Well, he did lean into him, but that's a Reggie Miller move. Reggie does that all the time. You just lean in and then take the hit and get the shot off.
And it goes now Elijah Wan. Ball away against Shea. Rebound AC Green. He just continues to do the job on the defensive boards. 14 of them. And Kevin Johnson finishes.
See, that's exactly what Rudy T was talking about. He called it the moment of truth. You have to get KJ under control, way higher on the floor. Otherwise, he'll go shoot layups on you.
Kevin Johnson now with 8 points, 4 of 7 to the field. The 2 highest scoring teams in the playoffs, the 2 best shooting teams in the playoffs, and neither one of those things are happening here tonight. Rebound, Kevin Johnson. Wesley Person a 3. AC tries to keep it alive. Chucky Brown tomahawked it out of bounds, and the Suns will have it with 1:46 left in this first half. And Rudy Tomjanovich has to be pleased with the effort that his team is throwing up here. But why are we surprised? They're always tough when it comes to elimination games.
Well, they're the defending champions.
And Marley gets one, and that could take a lot of pressure off of Dan Marley. He has struggled so much. He gets the basket to go. The foul is going to go on Brown, his second.
Well, anytime a guy who has the reputation for being a three-point shooter, and that's all he likes to do, when he drives, it kind of surprises you. The Rockets that time could have done a better job of filling up the lane, but I think they were more surprised by the drive by Marley.
Marley and his wife Tina have really gone through a lot of pressure. They were going to induce labor yesterday to have their first child, and probably got a hold of it. One of the disc jockeys here in Phoenix, they had so many people at the hospital, they decided not to do it. So now they're going to try to do it tomorrow. So you think Marley doesn't have some things going through his mind right now?
He's got some real life type things on his mind. They ought to just give her some privacy.
AC Green backing in now on Chucky Brown. 4 seconds on the shot clock, and Akeem reaches in, and that will be his third. So Elijah Wan would like to get that one back.
Now. You got to get him out right now. Here comes Ori. Akeem is a little frustrated, and I think this is a frustration foul. I mean, he knew that was going to be a foul. He knew he had to. He can't complain about it. I think he's a little fatigued. His shot has not looked good in the last 4 or 5 times down. The dream shake's not working. His team is still winning the basketball, holding on by a point.
Akeem has attempted 15 shots. He's hit 6 for 12 points. He also has 7 rebounds, now with 3 fouls. AC Green rattles one in. It's tied at 47. So after that break, the 5-point lead has been cut down. It was 47-42 before the break. Look at those rebounds already with 16. AC gets both of them. Used all of it, didn't he? 22nd timeout now for the Rockets. So Houston, who already staved off 2 elimination games in round 1 with Utah. They were down in that series 2-1. The only time they've lost an elimination game was in the Western Conference semifinals against Seattle in 1993. Well, tomorrow on TNT, Indiana and New York. And can the Pacers close that one out? They have a 3-1 lead. And, of course, a lot being said about the health of Patrick Ewing as to whether or not he'll be able to step it up and keep the Knicks alive.
Well, my opinion is that Patrick is suffering, especially on the full court. When he has to run the court, he still is putting up points. He had 25 in their last encounter. However, he gave up a lot of easy baskets in transition. I'm looking for KJ to come alive.
Kevin Johnson, 4 of 7, 8 points in the ball game. Stripped. Barkley on the move. And he's fouled. And Barkley looks back. He agrees with the call. And they're over the limit. And Barkley will go to the free throw line.
Most times, you like to get the ball to the guy that's the superior ball handler. That time, Charles Barkley was rumbling down the middle. He does it very well, and it's a great bust out because when your forward can bust out, that's the fastest way to start a break. You know, Magic Johnson started that when he played at Michigan State. He was one of the first to popularize it at the collegiate level. He really was a point guard, but he played forward. He would get the rebound and then start the break. Many NBA small forwards and some power forwards can do it. But I think that time, had he hit KJ on the wing, he would have been looking at a wide open layup.
It's a good way to describe it. He rumbled out of there. The Suns are now 9 of 14 from the free throw line. Remember now, they're number 1 in the playoffs in free throw percentage. They're shooting 82% coming in here tonight. It's not happening at the line here. Suns by 1, 48-47. Suns number 1 field goal shooting team, the number 1 free throw shooting team in the playoffs headed into tonight. 8 seconds on the shot clock, 49 on the game. Smith will try another 3. Rebound tracked down by Kevin Johnson. Franchise junior and franchise senior smiling at each other as they head up the floor. Barkley leaves it short. Marley with a rebound. 12 seconds on the shot clock. They didn't hit the rim with that shot. Barkley inside, a left-handed shot not there, and we're going to have a loose ball foul. Barkley will use that left hand, and that time he overshot it. Good energy that time. Good effort. Second effort for the Suns, and it will send them to the free throw line.
Well, you can thank Dan Marley for this extra possession. The scrappiness of Dan Marley. He got in, mixed it up on the board, something this two-guard doesn't do that often. Then found himself alone in the corner. Instead of forcing up a shot, he found Charles Barkley on the inside. This is why you have an extra possession, because Dan Marley kept the ball alive, got it back, got it into Charles Barkley. Barkley got fouled, got himself on the free throw line.
Ellie committed the foul, his second. AC Green from the free throw line is 5 of 8. And now Danny Ainge will come into the ball game. Barkley will sit down with 26.5 seconds left in the first half. Elliot Perry also coming in. And Dan Marley will leave. And Sam Cassell now checks in for the Houston Rockets. Ori will sit down. 2-point lead for the Suns. AC Green averaging 12.3 rebounds. He had 12 in the game Sunday. In the first round, he had 15 against Portland. 49-47. 6 of 9 from the line now for AC Green.
Houston would love to get a 3 here, Gary. They would just love to lace up a 3.
Drexler baseline. Leaves it short. Ainge with a rebound.
Probably should have taken a little more time.
And Elliot Perry makes him pay for that.
That's right.
51-47, a little spurt for the Suns here, the waning seconds. Ellie finishing well, and he gets it to go just before the first half comes to a close. 51-49, Phoenix.
Well, it's always a mystery. When you get a key emotional basket at one end, you have a tendency to lag. There's a celebration lag, which they pay for. Mario Ellie with a chippy.
The Reebok halftime report coming up. Mike Fratello along with Ernie Johnson. Stay with us now.
Yes, but the thing that I think is most interesting, Gary, is that they've put up 15. I predict they'll put up more than 15 in the second half because they've really set it up with their penetrations early in the first half.
Well, they led the NBA this year, averaging over 21 a game. 51-49 at the halfway point. The Suns trying to close it out here and move into the Western Conference Finals. And Houston trying to stave off another elimination game, which would go 8-1 in the last 2 years if they're able to do it. That ball dribbles off of Barkley's foot, and now Mike Mathis has spotted a foul on Clyde Drexler. Drexler committing his first foul. Wesley Person will bring it in. Barkley in the first half with a double-double. AC Green with 16 rebounds. His career high is 19, so he's well on the path of breaking all of those records throughout his illustrious career. Here's Barkley with the second effort, and they're still not able to get it, and we have a loose ball foul. And right now, Houston looks very sluggish as they start this third quarter.
Particularly on the glass. They're not getting to the glass at all on either end. They're being out-rebounded dramatically by 14 in the first half. And we talked about it in the open, Gary. Hakeem Olajuwon's rebounding has been down dramatically in this series, all the way down to 7 a game. That's not very many for a guy of his stature.
Chucky Brown picked up the foul, his third. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Into Kevin Johnson, trying to go in low against Kenny Smith, and we're going to have 3 seconds of the lane. So neither team real sharp as we start the second half.
Gary, it's not a pretty basketball game. It's evolved into a very ugly game. One of the things I think that Phoenix has to do is they have to say to KJ, hey, pal, stop being such a nice guy and taking care of everybody. Go out and do what you do best.
He's taken 7 shots in the game and hit 4 coming off of that 43-point performance on Sunday. Here's Hakeem, and Hakeem, who had to sit down with 3 fouls in the second quarter, comes out and hits points 13 and 14, and we're tied for the 7th time. Kevin Johnson trying now a little pick and roll with Barkley, and Kevin from outside, and that's what you're talking about. He has to assert himself more from outside.
He really does. In fact, he's got to do a lot of that. They're giving him the jump shot, and he's got to take as many as they'll give him.
53-51, the Suns by 2. Drexler bounces into Wesley Person. High arching shot. Hakeem with a putback. So the 2 former University of Houston teammates combine there to tie it up at 53. KJ backing in now on Kenny Smith. There's that crossover. Kenny Smith trying somehow to hang in there with him. Klein from outside, and Klein hit it. In the first half, he was 0 for 3, and that'll help his confidence.
That was an interesting play. KJ and Barkley running screen and roll, about $10 million worth of guys running screen and goal. And a $600,000 a year fires up the jump shot.
Here's Ori from outside. He misses. We mentioned in the first half they attempted 15 threes. Kevin Johnson on the move. They try to impede his move. Out it comes to Klein, and Klein is 2 for 2 in the second half. So that face-up jumper from the pivot man starting to pay off for the Suns. After the first half, they just couldn't get it to go. Chucky Brown ducks in. Nice ad-lib move. The basket will count, and he's fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Brown did a nice job when the ball came back to him of trying to do a little show and go. What he does is he shows the ball and then gets the defender running at him. When AC Green rotated over, he was a little late. Chucky Brown read it and drove right by him.
And Joe Klein had his foot stepped on that move, and he's kind of walking it off right now as Brown with a chance for 3-point play. Suns by 1, 57-56. Kevin Johnson in a hurry, and Chucky Brown has committed his 4th foul. That was like one of those wide receivers in football. He's just going to go a down and out pattern, and Brown couldn't stay with him and picked up his 4th personal of the night.
Well, that's that moment of truth that Rudy T is talking about. He wants KJ under control. That time they sent a double team at him.
And it comes to Barkley. Ori tries to poke the ball away. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Swinging around, Klein. He's going to go to the hole. Boy, you don't see that very often. And he went over Hakeem with a high-arching left-handed shot.
Give Joe Klein a lot of credit. He knew they'd be coming at him. He hit a couple of J's, gave a little show and go. Did his version of Chucky Brown's drive.
Ori with the 3. Chucky Brown's follow not there. Barkley in the open floor to Person. Person had his shot changed by Ori, but Green is there. He missed it. And Houston comes away very fortunate on that exchange. Kenny Smith, foul by Joe Klein. So Klein coming over, the big body committing the foul. Mario Ole now is going to check into the lineup for the Rockets. Chucky Brown, who picked up his 4th foul, will sit down.
Gary, normally on a fast break, when you have a big man and a little man on the wings, you give the ball to the big man. But you had KJ, one of the great finishers in the league. Charles Barkley elected to go to Wesley Person. He couldn't finish.
And it comes now to Elijah Wan's spin move, and Klein has picked up another foul. So 2 in a hurry. That will be his 3rd.
Joe Klein is becoming an offensive force, so one of the things that you can do to defend him is not really defend him, but go at him, make him defend. And that's what they're trying to do there. And Team Olajuwon says, I'll get you out of the game one way or the other, and he's out.
And Klein didn't want to come out of the ball game. You could see him put up the stop sign for Paul Westphal, but he's going to bring Shays in. Danny Shays now. It's center by committee on Olajuwon, and they've done very well from time to time, especially in Game 4 in Houston. Hakeem with 8 seconds on the shot clock. Tipped up that time by Drexler and saved by Kenny Smith. And now they're out of bounds. Well, they're kind of staggering on that play. They never did get it done.
Yeah, well, they're staggering in the score a little bit right now as well. Pretty good effort, but that pass from the corner, when you feed from the corner to Olajuwon, he gets uncomfortable because he doesn't know where to go with the ball. He can't spin away from the double team.
Looks like the Spurs are going to close out that series. They're up by 4. They were ahead 3 games to 1. And, of course, they will play the winner of this series. 59-56, Kenny Smith outside to Olajuwon. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ellie, who's done a good job taking to the hole, and Barkley, he blocked it. Kevin Johnson tried to pass it to A.C. Green. That would have been a tough catch to make. Boy, what a block, though, by Barkley on that move by Ellie. Ellie will try a 3 this time, and Ori bounces into Green and comes up with the offensive board. Kenny Smith with a 3. Kenny Smith keeping the Rockets close.
Houston will not go away. This snake won't die. It won't go away.
16 points for Kenny Smith. Kenny Smith had a high of 32. That coming against Utah in Game 2 when he hit 7 of 8 threes. Shays misses. Barkley rips it down.
Oh, he got that one on pure strength.
I guess. And inside, and Mike Mathis spots the foul. Let's go back and look at the block by Barkley as Ori has committed his 2nd foul. Watch this block.
Gary, when you get an emotional play like this, you really want to put the capper on it. Ellie goes in for the shot, and he wanted to dunk. Barkley said,
Get it out of here. We're tied at 59.
Hakeem Olajuwon. Problem with the armbar is it's kind of easy to spin off of. And then he took him out and faced him up and got it out. Now here's the other half of the center duo, the tandem, the committee, so to speak. Danny Shays doing the best he can, getting a little help from Wesley Person. That's good team defense.
We are tied for the 9th time in this ball game at 59. 6:37 to go in the 3rd. Kevin Johnson inside. Now, that's one of the few times this game he's tried to penetrate inside, and he draws the foul. He'll go to the line. That foul is going to go on Kenny Smith, his 2nd.
You know, as you watch players over the years, you get a feeling for when they're into the game and when they're not. I've never felt during the course of this game that KJ was into it. I mean, I know he's coming off of that bravura performance in Game 4 down in Houston, but I mean, he's got nothing to be ashamed of, and there's no reason he can't come out and try to do it again. Well, the idea is to get your team advanced.
Dick, excuse me, but that's his first free throw, which again means he hasn't been making those penetration moves to get to the line.
And I'm not so sure that the design of what Houston is trying to do, you know, the moment of truth and picking him up higher, I mean, they're making an effort at that, but he's not challenging it. KJ is not taking the ball to the basket like he should.
Kevin with 12, Barkley with 14. You figure one of those 2 franchise players are going to have to start to step it up for the Suns if they want to end this one. Olajuwon against Shays. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Into Hakeem again with 4. With 3. Didn't get a very good look. Shays with a rebound. Kevin Johnson on the move. Into AC. AC misses it. AC's missed a couple of shots in close. Coming back now, the Rockets. They've hit 7 of 19 threes. Drexler with a finger roll and the tip in by Ellie.
Oh, that was a great effort by Mario Ellie. In fact, he got 2 tips on it. Good 2nd effort, good 3rd effort, got it back.
We're tied for the 10th time. This time it's 61. last year, the Suns had their season ended by this Houston team in the semifinals. They want redemption. They'd like to finish it tonight. Boy, I tell you, Kevin hit the floor hard, and then Ori inadvertently stepped on top of him, and Barkley picks up franchise junior. However, Barkley said he was franchise senior on Sunday, and Barkley would then be franchise
Yeah, I
junior.
think he was franchise PhD on Sunday. He really piled it on higher and deeper. He put the points up.
Ori with his 4th foul. And now Chucky Brown's going to come into the ball game.
This is what has to happen. KJ has to take the ball to the basket. Yeah, he may go in and take a hit and a shoe print, but that's the sacrifices you have to make when you're a team leader. It's called the responsibility of leadership.
Kevin Johnson played in only 47 games of regular season play, and an assortment of injuries. And during the playoffs, he's had problems with the left hamstring. He's had a lot of acupuncture treatment. He mentioned a little bit sore after the game on Sunday, but takes too many shots like that, and it'll get sore again.
Well, he said he was going to continue with those treatments. Apparently, they're helping him, and I suspect he'll take them all the way through the playoffs.
Johnson hits the free throw. Kevin Johnson leading everybody in the playoffs with field goal percentage at 64%. Not bad from the line either, 88. Suns by 1, 62-61. Olajuwon against Shea. A big step. He draws a foul. He got the basket, and this is the first lead of the second half now for the Rockets. 63-62. They trailed at halftime by 2.
Well, Hakeem has been having problems when the pass is made from the corner. Watch the defender. You can't see him there. There he's in the picture, Wesley Person. That's why he can't move back to the dream shape. So he had to work his way through traffic and get the hookup. He got the foul and got it in. That's a tougher shot for him. I would think about running a cutter through if I was Houston to get that defender out of there.
He drew the 3rd foul of the game against Shea.
There he
Kevin
is.
now is starting to take the ball to the hole. Tied at 64. Cassell in the lineup now in the backcourt along with Kenny Smith. He dumps it into Hakeem against Shays, and a patented baseline jumper.
You know, that time the pass came in from the top. There was no help, and he was able to turn to the baseline. Hakeem made that dream shake.
The dream shake. That's going to be a famous dance step if we keep talking about it. There's Kevin Johnson. He's fouled before the shot. Olajuwon now has attempted 21 shots in this ball game, but he has put up a lot of shots throughout this series. He has 21 shots, 21 points. Kevin Johnson now going to the line.
KJ has got to continue to press the defense of the Houston Rockets. He's got to try to break them down. He's got to score points on the line, Gary, and you watch, he will start finishing.
Now let's take a look at tonight's GMC scoreboard. A game back east of great interest. A team that has really shown some maturity. The Magic. 103-95. They lead that series of the Bulls 3-2. And look at this in overtime now. San Antonio 3-1 up and trying to close it out at the Alamo Dome.
I think the Lakers are a fun team to watch. They're going to be a fun team, you know, for the next 7 or 8 years as Nick Van Exel matures. But
youngest team in the playoffs.
San Antonio is a very strong team.
66 all. A pass deflected out by Shays. 13 seconds on the shot clock. And we're going to have a timeout called by Houston. 4:35 to go in the third. We're tied at 66. The Suns trying to move into the Western Conference Finals.
With 8 layups and 2 dunks. Rockets have the ball. Game tied at 66. Down to Olajuwon. Shays with a foul. No call. Olajuwon gets it back. Barkley takes it away. Boy, I thought Shays fouled him going to the basket. Barkley goes to the basket. No whistle, but it goes into the hands of Person and puts it up for 2. Man. I don't know how Barkley's got a beef. He's looking back at Mike Mathis, but Olajuwon was just hammered by Shays. Very well, on the perimeter. On the drive. Whoops, it won't go, but he's fouled. He'll shoot 2.
Okay, now Rudy T is standing on the sidelines telling Sam Cassell that when you have Mario Elliott coming at you on the drive, you've got to make the distance up by spreading out, getting out of his way. If you stand there, what happens is his man is able to guard and stop Mario Elliott from finding that seam. They did a great job in the first half of their spacing. They want to continue in that direction. Mario
gets the first, he'll have one more. fouls on Marley. That's his third foul of the game. Mario ties it at 68. Mario Ellie with 8. The Rockets refuse to go away. Playing shorthanded here tonight. Inside to Marley. Back outside, Person gets a good look. That is not a three-pointer. He had his foot on the line. It's a 2, however, and a big basket. And Person has 14. Down to Akeem. Cassell will fire up a 3. Sam Cassell gives the Houston Rockets the lead by 1. Now 71-70.
Johnson left for a half a second. Dream got the ball back to Sam quickly, giving Sam an opportunity to get himself a good look at the basket and score.
Barkley with a fadeaway, going to be too strong. Won't go. Tipped up in the air. Into the hands. Person puts it up for 2 more. I'll tell you, that Wesley Person has been a dagger in Houston's heart in games 4 and 5. And he's got 16 points. 15 in this one, I should say. 15. Olajuwon spins to the middle. Jump hook over the front of the rim. Won't go in. Person tips it out of bounds himself. And Houston gets a break. The Rockets will get the ball. Suns lead it by 1. All right, here comes another banger to bang on Olajuwon. Klein will come in. They just keep running these 2 guys at him. Trying to wear him down. Klein will bang on him a little bit. 2:58 and counting left to play in the third quarter. Rockets have a fresh shot clock. Sam with a 3, rings it out, won't go, and Wesley Person with a rebound. KJ, baseline, Sam picked him up nicely. Olajuwon gets a steal, Klein takes it away, misses the shot, Akeem with a rebound, gets it out to Cassell. Here comes Sam in the open court, takes it to the middle, back out, Kenny Smith with a 3, puts it up. Oh, Kenny Smith hits a 3-pointer, and the Rockets lead it. 74-72.
Every time the Rockets need a great defensive stop, they've come up with it. They've come back in transition basketball and been able to score.
KJ again takes it to the middle, back outside. Marley swings it to Person. He's had the hot hand. He misses this time, and KJ runs it down. I think that's 6 rebounds for Kevin. Takes it back towards the basket. I don't think Sam was looking for that move, and Cassell with a foul. That's number 2 on Sam.
Well, let's take a look at the move. Now, the problem that I've always brought to the forefront, Bill, is when you have penetration and you reach. Now, I thought that was a good defensive play. He knocked the ball away, but any reaching, they call.
Well, they drove him to the baseline into Olajuwon, which is what they wanted
supposed to do, right.
All right, now Barkley will sit down for the final 2:05 of this quarter. AC Green will come in for him, so it'll be Green and Klein, Person, Marley, and Johnson. And KJ with 19 points. Game tied at 74. Heading into the final 2 minutes of the third quarter. And Rudy judiciously using his timeouts to try to rest his beleaguered team. What a valiant effort right now by the Rockets, playing shorthanded tonight. They are in this game tied at 74 with 2:01 left to play.
But what's happening here tonight? Rudy Tomjanovich has talked so many times about when they get backed up, when they face all kinds of eliminations, they're tough, and they proved it here again tonight.
Any team that goes through the experience of winning an NBA championship, oh, I even think just getting there, getting to the finals, something happens to your body biorhythms. They get used to it. They played a month and a half longer than other teams. They know what it's like to continue playing. So do the Suns, though.
Well, you know, it's tough to come back, though, down 3-1. Look at this, only 4 teams in history. The last was the Boston Celtics. They went on that year to win the NBA title. The Suns would just as soon forget about 1970. Then they went 3 up. Jerry Colangelo had ended up coaching that team. Red Kerr.
That was the last year he coached, too. He said, I've had enough of this. I think he made a pretty good decision. He's become one of the most astute general managers and owners in the NBA.
We're tied at 74. 2:01 to go now in this third quarter. We've been tied 14 times. Ellie setting a high pick for Cassell. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Olajuwon backing into Klein. There's that little stutter start move. Rebound AC Green. And Green coming up with his 18th rebound. That's one away from his career high. And that ball deflected out of bounds. The Suns will get it back with 19 seconds on the shot clock.
Well, Houston did a nice job of trying to gather and corral KJ right around the half-court line. That was an excellent defensive maneuver. It saved the basket.
Rockets still only shooting 39% of this game. The Suns 42. And remember, both these teams are shooting only over 50% in the playoffs. So they have not been able to find the mark tonight. There's an illegal defense, the first of the night. That's a warning, and they'll take it out on the side. Rudy Tomjanovich, a 5-time NBA All-Star, the #1 draft pick of Houston. 25 years he's worked for the Rockets as a scout, assistant, a head coach, or a player. He's a lifer.
Yeah, it's
a true sense.
It's a great American story. You got to love the story.
Kevin trying to penetrate inside. 10 seconds on the shot clock. A minute 14 in the third. Kevin from outside. That's what he was doing Sunday. They'd leave him alone and he'd make him pay.
It's a gamble they're willing to take, and so far tonight it's paid off.
Here's Kenny Smith with his own three, rattles out. That would have been the 10th three of the night for Houston had that stayed in. Less than a minute to go down the third. The Suns by 2.
I'm going right back to KJ if I'm Paul Westphal.
Look at this, though. Cassell's not going to let him get the ball. As an end result, he picks up the foul. He was literally just in a bear hug almost, trying to keep Kevin away, and Cassell with his 3rd foul of the night.
Hey, you got to use the fouls. You got to keep the ball away from KJ. I don't see anything wrong with that foul. Go ahead, get physical, you know, muss up his hair a little bit, whatever you got to do. But you cannot let him get the ball and get control of this basketball game. You want to stay alive, you're going to have to kind of mix it up. And Sam Cassell seemed willing to do that.
Kevin at the line is 7 of 8. He has 21 points. You look at what he has done in this series. He's averaging 26.8. Shooting 68%.
Almost 70% there. That's
incredible.
Off the charts.
And another thing that's amazing, he's tried 4 threes. He's hit all 4 of them against the Rockets. He had 4 the entire regular season.
Yeah, 4 of 26. He only took 26 all year.
Suns by 3. 35 seconds left in the third. Olajuwon baseline on Klein. Heaves it outside. Good ball rotation. Cassell ducks in. Stripped by Marley. Ahead it comes to Person. Person to the trailing Green, to KJ. What a defensive job by Dan Marley.
That was a great example of giving the ball off to the best finisher. KJ's a great finisher, even though he was the smaller man.
The crowd on their feet. 8 seconds left in the quarter. Olajuwon trying to quiet the crowd, and that will. Hakeem coming through again, now has 23 points. Wesley Person, 2 seconds, stripped to the ball, and that brings us to the end of this third quarter. That shot went, but it won't count. Marley hit it, but it won't count. Time had expired.
Take a look at this fast break. It's going to be triggered here.
Houston by 20 rebounds.
Is going to be triggered here.
Houston by 20 rebounds, 52 to 32, and yet the Rockets are trailing by only 3 points. Well, we just understand the Lakers have beaten the San Antonio Spurs. That series will go back to LA Thursday night. Rockets trying to send this back to Houston for a game 6. Chucky Brown did a great job of getting the ball back. He'll put up the jumper. Oh, Chucky Brown, thank you very much. What a play.
Are you thanking him, Bill?
From Houston's Chuckster. And it's a 1-point game. What a big play by Chucky Brown.
Well, he's come up big all game long, Bill. He's elevated his game up another notch for the Rockets.
Marley with a 3. Well, that's the first 3 by Marley in 3 games. Came at a tough time. Olajuwon to the middle with a jump hook for 2. And it's 82 to 80. Suns by 2.
Here's their fourth quarter strategy. When the ball goes to Olajuwon, everybody abandons their post and runs right to Olajuwon. They're going to want everybody else to beat them. They know Olajuwon can if they allow him to get a one-on-one situation.
KJ getting a pick off Klein. Boy, they are hitting some tough shots. 84-80. Kenny Smith back outside. Mario Ellie sets for a three-pointer. Mario Ellie with a three, and the Rockets won't die. There's no die in the Houston Rockets.
Well, that should be one. Oh, Rockets are down 2. I thought they'd be down 1 point.
I thought that he was behind the line. Did they change that? Green with a slam. AC Green to the basket.
Johnson.
3 baskets in a row for Phoenix. Rockets have answered with 2. 86-82. Suns by 4. Ellie drops it down to Akeem. Triple team on Akeem. Kenny Smith has AC Green on him. Back over to Ellie. 3 on the shot clock. Mario with a little runner. Chucky Brown tipped it in. Won't go. Chucky Brown puts it up again, and it goes. Chucky Brown. 13 points.
Boy, has he come up big.
Oh, 86-84. Suns by 2. I am so proud of this Houston Rockets team, and you fans back in Houston should be too. There's a miss, hit the top of the backboard. Olajuwon with the rebound. Rockets can tie or take the lead on this possession. Kenny Smith drops it down to Olajuwon. He's got Klein on his hip. Back outside, Ellie on the run. Rockets need that spacing again. Dropping it down to Akeem. Takes it to the basket. And a jump. Nope, a foul.
They got him on the wrist.
Foul is called on Marley. That's number 4 on Dan Marley. There's a timeout on the court. And Akeem will be at the line to shoot when we come back. The Suns lead at 86-84. Here's a word from Southwest Airlines.
And now 67%.
And Barkley has not taken a shot of the second half. Here's Nicole Watson. Nicole.
Well, Gary, as soon as Drecker sits on the bench, the team doctor quickly go over to him and ask him if he's okay. He's been drinking fluids to replenish his body during each break, and he left the floor just a few minutes ago for a few seconds with a towel wrapped around his neck. I asked him how he's feeling. He said not good. Again, he only left the floor for a few minutes, and he's back on the bench.
Well, they're getting a real performance from Chucky Brown and Mario Ellie. How about San Antonio and the Lakers tonight? Nick Van Exel hit a 3 with 0.3 of a second left, and that series is still going. It's now 3-2 San Antonio.
He's one of the most exciting players in all of the NBA to watch.
We're tied for the 15th time. Ainge is into the ball game. Tries a 3. AC Green with the rebound. That ties his career high with 19, and he's fouled. And Olajuwon, if that's on Akeem, it's his 4th.
Gary, you pointed out that Charles Barkley has not taken a shot in the second half. I wouldn't put it past Charles Barkley to try to get KJ going by backing off his own offensive thrust.
Barkley, as we mentioned, did not have a big second half on Sunday. Klein missing outside. Barkley tries to come up with a rebound. Kenny Smith on the breakout. Klein is back. Smith challenges him and gets it.
Oh, that was a great shot. I mean, he challenged a 6'10" man who outweighs him by 100 pounds, used his body, bounced off of him, still got it off the glass.
Kenny Smith, his best game in the second round. He has 21 points tonight. Marley, and away from the ball, Mike Mathis has spotted something. Got a foul against Houston. It's going to be on Ori. He grabbed a hold of Barkley. You can see Mathis demonstrating that, and Ori's picked up his 5th foul. Danny Ainge will inbound. Ainge tried a 3 a while ago.
Excuse me, they're going to go right to Ori.
Out it comes now to Klein. Klein doesn't want to shoot it. Now he'll try it and doesn't get it. Boy, you just never hit him when you're hesitant like that.
Gary, I would have worked that again. I'd have come back, gone inside to Barkley, let him work on Ori.
Well, Klein's taken the shots the last 2 times down the floor.
With 17 on the shot clock.
Out it comes now to Ellie's. A setup 3, rattles out. Klein with a rebound. Where are you going to get Barkley involved here? That's the question you have as the Suns set it up. Charles still looking for his first shot of the second half. He was 7 of 17 in the first half. Ainge with a 3, short.
I look for Houston to maybe go back to some of the penetrating that was working for him earlier.
Smith, not there. Klein with another defensive board. Suns trail by 2, 7:38 to go. The Rockets trying to stave off another elimination game. They would go 8-1 if they're able to do that in the last 2 years. Barkley finally tries the shot. It was a difficult one. Ainge is stripped. Ellie is going to go unmolested, and it's a 4-point lead. And this Houston team is tough. They are mentally tough. And you are world champions when you have this kind of toughness. And they were that last season.
Well, pretty much for the Houston Rockets, it's been there, done that. Good strip of Danny Ainge. Get a free one for Mariali, who puts a little French pastry on his finish.
And the Rockets lead it by 4. Nick Van Exel. He's had some sensational games in the playoffs earlier against Seattle. Danny Shays able to get the one inside. The Suns cut the lead to 2, 90-88 Houston.
Again, it was the penetration of Kevin Johnson that set up that little interior pass.
Boy, Olajuwon and Shays had a real collision inside. Both of them trying to set up on the blocks. Olajuwon backing in on Shays. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Drexler kicks outside. Green tipped it. He's trying to get to the ball. Ellie shielded him away from it. Smith comes up with it. The shot clock has expired. Now, wait a minute. They get timeout?
Yeah, Kenny Smith called for a 20-second timeout. And I believe that Mike Mathis recognized he's going to put some time back on the clock. That was a good heads-up play by Kenny Smith. They may get some kind of a shot out of this.
Well, they have 1 second on the shot clock. Let's look at it again. He got it. Mike Mathis on top of it. So they're not going to have an awful lot of time to get anything off here, but at least they're still in possession of the basketball. Boy, the collision a while ago away from the ball between Olajuwon and Shays. They were just kind of rooting each other out of there.
Yeah, they're playing tough inside. And Gary, you know, what's been somewhat overlooked in this basketball game is that the Houston Rockets down to 9 people because of Drexler being sick. Have got 34 points out of their bench.
They're going to try somehow to get something underway, and that was all they could do. Well, you got to mention that Carl Herrera, he tried to go. He dislocated his shoulder again in game 4 of the first round. Vernon Maxwell, indefinite leave for personal problems. You're right. They do not have a lot of depth.
Well, 34 points for the Rockets from their bench, but only 15 from the Phoenix Suns.
Barkley looking for his first points of the second half. There's just not any place to go. Green with a 3. He is 1 of 9 in this series from three-point land. And so Houston with a 2-point lead and a travel against Houston. Mike Mathis, Chucky Brown can't believe it. He better be careful. He's going to get a tee.
Well, Chucky Brown's really made some terrific contributions to his team here. The left foot is the pivot foot. He slides it a little. He slid it there.
Yeah, at the very end he did. Barkley can't get a shot up. They are just collapsing on Barkley. Here comes Ellie. Ellie's played a strong game tonight. Drexler back in. Nicole Watson talking about the problems he's having health-wise. Just gutting it up here. What could be the end of the season? Here's from the baseline, Olajuwon. Ellie keeps it alive. What effort by Ellen.
You got to love that guy. I mean, he really gives a terrific effort.
Into Hakeem again. Kenny Smith looking in. He gets a screen from Olajuwon. He almost traveled, and he did. Well, that's 2 traveling violations by the Rockets at a critical stage of the game.
Gary, let me tell you what's going on for Houston. For some unexplained reason, they are going back to spotting up in the corner, which does not allow Olajuwon the room to operate.
You see the turnovers in the ball game. The Suns this year led the NBA with only 14 points a game. Boy, they're taking a lot of shots way outside. The centers, Klein and Shays, and it's not working right now.
Well, I think that's by design. A good NBA team can pretty much make who they want take the shot if they work at it defensively, which Houston is clearly doing.
Shays is 3 of 7. Klein is 3 of 9 from the field tonight.
See, now Drexler's on the wing, and that time he cut, and it allowed Hakeem to go ahead and turn to the baseline.
Chucky Brown just missed the putback. 4:54 left in the fourth quarter. Here's Shays again. He's going to keep doing this until he gets it right.
They're just giving Danny Shays the shot. They're not even making an attempt to rotate to him.
Kenny Smith is open at 3. Line drive. AC Green high with a rebound and a foul. AC Green with that rebound would give him 20 for the night. They're going to call the foul on Danny Shays. So Green went high, but it's negated by the foul, and the Rockets will take it out. That on Shays is his 4th. Team foul-wise, both teams now with 2. 90-88 Houston.
Denny Smith has a tendency to rush his shot. When he rushes it, he doesn't shoot near the percentage. Gets it stolen. Marley again with a good defensive play.
And so Marley has made 2 big ones. And getting up slowly is going to be Ellie. That's the 3rd foul on Ellie.
Well, you saw Marley earlier just use his strength and reach in and take the ball. This time he's going to do it again. Batted the ball, used his strength, covered up, got the ball out.
Marley was 7 points, but he's contributed another way.
He really has.
Kevin Johnson ducks inside. Here's Dan Marley. He'll go to the hole. Doesn't get it. Tipped outside to Kenny Smith, and Houston still up by 2.
If Dan Marley could finish drives, he would be twice the player that he already is.
Timeout, Houston. Rudy G realizing that they've got a real chance to steal one here and get back to Houston for game 6. We've had no points now, and 2:45, last 2:45 of the 4th quarter.
21 points. The bench for Houston, Brown, Ellie, and Cassell combining for 34 points. Houston 9 of 26 from the three-point line. For Phoenix, KJ with 26. AC Green 19 rebounds. Phoenix 18 of 27 from the line. Houston 13 of 17. Alley-oop to Olajuwon, too tall. Marley with a rebound.
Great idea.
KJ with a crossover, covered nicely by Kenny Smith. Kenny's doing a heck of a job. Bartlett on the double team, almost knocked away from KJ. Shot clock down to 8 seconds. Into the corner, three-pointer. Short, won't go. Chucky Brown with a rebound. I'll tell you what, I thought Bartlett really went over Chucky's back there and got away with one.
Now, well, your thought was correct, Bill.
Really got away with one there. He's so strong and takes up so much room that when he jumps into you, you got to fly back. KJ with a three-pointer, misses. Robert Horry goes high for the rebound, and the Suns are stuck on 88, but the Rockets are stuck on 90, but that's 2 more.
Yeah. Plus that, I still think the Rockets have the momentum going in their direction.
You need a basket here. Horry takes it down to Olajuwon. He's got Shays behind him. Double team comes over. KJ. They find Ellie. Back out to Kenny Smith.
Good move, Kenny.
On the drive.
Oh!
There's a block. Now the Rockets can't get a shot. And a foul on Chucky Brown. Good acting job by Johnson. Fifth foul on Chucky Brown and the 14th foul on Houston. So now the next foul by the Rockets will put Phoenix at the line.
I tell you,
still have 2 to give.
Offensively, the problem the Rockets have, Bill, their spacing has been wrong. The defense has been able to guard penetrators and come over and help on the jump shooters.
Bartlett taking it to the basket, bumps off Chucky Brown, misses, tipped up in the air. Barkley gets it back. Back outside, Marley gets a good look at a three! Oh, what a time for Marley to hit a shot! And the Suns go up by 1 with 2:34 left to play. Timeout, Houston. Dan Marley, who has had an absolutely terrible series, gets his second three-pointer of the night. And oh, what a big one it was.
Well, the Rockets have had their chances, Bill. They've done a nice job around the boards on the missed shots. Unfortunately, coming back on the offensive end, they have not been able to capitalize. Now, the Rockets need to do 2 things. Number one, the officials are allowing them to play basketball. So that means they just have to stay aggressive. They have to keep themselves going towards the basket. It doesn't necessarily have to be a 3. If they make a move to the basket, they can do it and get themselves a 15 to 18-foot jump shot. Now, on the other end, you cannot give the effort, stop them, and allow Marley, who, as you said, Bill, not had the best of series, come up with a big shot.
Well, he's got 10 points here tonight, and that was maybe the biggest all season for him. And you see that Phoenix bench, boy, they were really sweating it. Now, let me give you the timeout situation. Houston has 2 timeouts remaining. Phoenix has 2 timeouts plus a 20. The Rockets have 14 fouls. Phoenix has only 2 team fouls, so the Suns still have a couple to give, or at least 30 more seconds to give one. Phoenix right now is on a 5-0 run. The Rockets have got to find a way to get off that 90 spot.
Well, the post up is not working, Bill. They've got to play a passing game right now, and whoever has the opportunity to take it to the basket needs to do so.
I got a feeling that Kenny Smith and Olajuwon will decide this game between them. Robert Horry trying to get some brownie points in. He's got 5 fouls. Mario Elie has played a huge game off the bench, 13 points.
Yeah, it's not going to work. I say forget about the referees. Don't do anything but play basketball.
91-90. Suns lead it by 1. Rockets with the ball. 2:30 left. Elie goes baseline, picked up by Marley. Back over to Robert Horry. Kenny Smith passes into Chucky Brown. Chucky Brown working inside, rolls across the iron, loose ball foul on Houston. Mario Ellie's telling Kenny Smith, shoot the ball.
Number 17, Mario Elie, is for in the penalty.
Well, the problem was you put Chucky in a position to have to take an off-balance shot when actually, as you said, Kenny Smith had the original shot, but they ran at him and he repositioned himself and put the Rockets in a situation where they weren't able to score.
Barkley has not scored in this half. Can you believe it? He got 14 in the first half. He has no points here in the second half, and he'll try to get one here.
Well, I'll tell you, during that span of 3-4 minutes, the Rockets had their opportunity to go up.
And Barkley misses. Oh, what a big miss.
So while the Rockets weren't shooting the ball well, they played great defense on the Barkleys where he wasn't able to get off.
I'll tell you what, the Phoenix Suns have had their hands full here tonight. Barkley on another miss. Robert Horry pulls it down, and Barkley misses 2 huge free throws. He still has not scored in this half. The Rockets with a chance to take the lead again on this possession, and a foul was given by KJ. He had one to give because the clock was getting ready to go under 2 minutes. So they still have one to give. So he was going for a steal and
they only
hopes he
got
can get
6
one.
seconds to get it. So he's going to try another. Well, he's not going to try to foul now. They're going under.
Kenny Smith
2 minutes.
turning around to Robert Horry. Horry drops it down to Olajuwon. To the middle. Back to Kenny. Kenny gives it up. 9 on the shot clock. Olajuwon, tough shot, won't go. Rockets just cannot get a good
Well,
look.
they got to stop depending on Dream so much. Everybody's got to stay involved in the offense. Now, they've done a nice job up to this point, but Dream should not be the focal point.
KJ to the basket, missed the shot. Barkley with a rebound. Big rebound by Barkley. 127, 126. 91-90, Suns by 1. They want to go to Barkley's side again. Chucky Brown trying to stay with him. Barkley leans it in, fall away. Barkley misses again. AC Green, loose ball foul. Good call. AC Green over the back.
Loose ball foul on number 40 by AC Green.
It's only the second on AC Green, but the Rockets will get it back. But how are they going to score?
Yeah, the Rockets were able to bite the bullet and stop them from getting an opportunity to score in that situation now. Now they definitely need to get somebody else involved. The defense is geared for any time that ball goes into Olajuwon, how they're going to play it. They need to play a 2-man game and stay away from Olajuwon in this instance. Don't try to force it in there. Look how the defense is playing.
Down to Olajuwon. 6 on the shot clock, down to 5. Somebody got to take it. Kenny Smith got to take it. He puts it up, off the mark, another bad shot. The Rockets can't get a good shot. What a defensive job by Phoenix. Here we go, 40 seconds left in the game. Phoenix leads by 1. The Rockets have been stuck on 90 for at least 4 minutes. Inside, knocked away. Houston's ball. Rockets ball with 32.8 left. The Rockets have got to find a way to get a good look. And Rudy will call a timeout. The Rockets have been stuck on 90 for what seems like forever. And now the coaching staff trying to figure out a way. You know, you need somebody who can take the ball one-on-one off the dribble.
Bill, if if they just simply get everybody moving to the ball and play a passing game and stop depending so much on Olajuwon, they can get themselves a good shot. Everything is based on trying to get the ball into Dream, and then the defense is able to play the passing lanes, and he can't get a good look back out. Let Olajuwon the next couple of times be the last option. He can get that fade away after the defense has to try to stop his other teammates.
That means, Calvin, somebody going to have to step up and take
Kenny
the shot.
Smith or Mario Ellie on the opposite side should try to put the ball on the floor and go to the basket. Avoid Olajuwon totally on your penetration because the defense can help.
I'll tell you, it's been one of the greatest efforts by a Houston Rockets team I have ever seen. If you joined us late, Clyde Drexler today tried to go, but he had the flu. Clyde with only 2 points on 2 free throws. He just wasn't able to get it done, but the Rockets have stepped up big. Olajuwon 27, Kenny Smith 21, Brown with 15, Ellie with 13, but oh, what I'd give for 2.
Well, but this is why the Rockets have got to come up with this game, because you don't want to waste this gallant effort by everybody that had an opportunity to get on the floor and rock it red. This has been a magnificent job by those undermanned Rockets.
There they are. The Rockets with that determined look. They have played big here tonight. Who is going to step up for Houston and take the big shot? It's 91-90. Suns lead it by 1 with 32 seconds left to play.
Now, the Rockets have got to be conscious of spacing. This way, they won't get themselves in a situation of turnovers.
Well, this could be the largest possession of the season for Houston. You've got to score here to put pressure on Phoenix. Robert Horry comes out, drops it down to Akeem. Akeem to the middle, back outside to Mario. On the drive, Mario high off the glass, won't go, tipped up in the air, and a loose ball foul is called on Chucky Brown. And that's number 6 on Chucky Brown.
In the penalty, foul zone number 52, Chucky Brown. His 6th, that's foul. Brown leaves the game.
Well, a great effort by Chucky Brown as he fouls out with 15 points.
Now, even if Barkley were to hit both of these foul shots, there's still 17 seconds, no, actually 18 seconds on the clock. Rockets call a timeout. They have an opportunity to set up a 3-point play. So there's still no panic, Bill, if he makes these. That's the point I'm trying to make.
The Rockets, Sam Cassell looking on. The Rockets have to make a substitution now, Rudy. Barkley has not made a free throw tonight. He's 0 for 4 from the line. Pete Chilcutt will check in for Houston. Barkley missed 2 free throws a moment ago. Now he's over there talking to Westphal, seeing if he can relieve a little of that tension.
Number 34, Charles Barkley in the line, 1 plus the penalty for 2 shots.
Well, here come 2 huge free throws for Phoenix. And he misses again. And I'm going to tell you, you talk about choke city. Barkley has missed all 5 free throws tonight, 3 down the stretch, plus a big field goal a minute ago. He still has 1 more.
Now, if he missed, the Rockets have got to come up with the rebound.
He got this one. He finally hit one. Well, it's 92-90. The Suns lead by 2 with 17.9 left to play. Draw me up a play,
Okay.
Mr. Murphy, that's going to work.
Okay, now, you're talking 2-man game. You're talking 2-man game. You're going to involve Olajuwon. If he sets that pick properly, and the big man has got to switch and try to stop a guard from rolling to the basket, from penetrating to the basket, he goes strong, then Olajuwon can follow with the offensive rebounding. Or if they don't switch, you still get the ball inside to Olajuwon for the jump shot. So definitely a 2-man game situation. Or if they play that well, spread the floor, get the ball in the hands of a penetrator.
All right, now it's important to get it in. The Rockets are out of timeouts. And remember, Phoenix if they force a delay of the game, they already have 2. It's a technical. Got to get the ball in. You're out of timeouts. There it is. Here we go. 92-90. Suns lead it by 2.
Look at the basket.
Olajuwon turns, fires, he ties it at 92. Olajuwon, he was fouled on the arm. No whistle. Didn't make any difference. He tied it at 92 with 8.2 left.
Robert Horry came off that pick clean. It was a nice double pick down low. Robert Horry never looked at the basket, but he got the ball into the hands of Green where he wanted. But nevertheless, I got excited because Robert Horry could shoot the ball and he was wide open. Not necessarily a 3, but he was able to get a clean look.
Let's watch it all again in its entirety.
Okay, now there's the double down low. Robert Horry comes baseline. He comes out. He has the ball. Now right here, there's nobody guarding him. He has the shot. He throws it into Olajuwon, and Olajuwon's athleticism is able to get the ball up and over. But Robert Horry did a nice job getting free, but he never looked at the rim.
Well, the reason I like Olajuwon shooting at that particular instance, he's the only Rocket that's really going to get a good look. The rest of the Rockets have had to force up some shots. Hakeem at least can get up over Shays and get a good look, and that's what happened. All right. Now, that's 29 points for Olajuwon. That's the first basket for Houston since the 7-18 mark. Wow, and what a big one it was.
Okay, now you have 8.2 seconds left. If the Suns get a shot, they're to get it over the top. Don't allow the penetration, because the penetration is going to do one of 2 things. It's going to either give them a layup or get them fouled and put them on that foul line.
All right, now you got KJ driving, and you got Barkley. Will they go to Barkley again?
Well, no, they're going to go to the first open shooter. And I wouldn't be surprised if they try to keep it on the same side, but with 8 seconds to go, the Rockets just need to play in front of all players.
Now, another problem, Rudy's had to use all of his timeouts in order to get some rest for Hakeem and the rest of the troops. So even if Houston rebounds the ball, they will not be able to stop the clock.
That's all right. All they want is not to lose. They'll take an overtime if possible.
Phoenix still has a timeout remaining.
Okay, now they insert person.
Now they're going to bring it the length of the court.
Well, I think that's a real good idea because half court you can be trapped. If the length of the court, you have a chance to get yourself some momentum going towards the basket.
Give it up to KJ.
Double team him. Double team KJ.
There he goes, driving to the basket, back out, Person with a 3. It goes in and comes out, and we're headed to overtime. We're headed to overtime. Oh, how much more can these Houston Rockets take? The Rockets have forced an overtime in Game 5. So get ready, Houston. Here we go to another 5 minutes of play. As Wesley Person gets a look on a 3. It will not go. 92-92. And we'll go another period.
Before you start shooting free throws.
And the Rockets now are shorthanded. Chucky Brown was very helpful during the regulation 4 periods. Is not available. He fouled out. You see Clyde Drexler's in the game now. They're going to try to get some kind of adrenaline performance out of Drexler in this overtime because they just don't have very many bodies.
This is the 5th overtime game of the playoffs this season. 92 all. Barkley going up against Olajuwon. Hakeem gets the tip. And here comes Kenny Smith. Kenny Smith with 21 points in this ball game. 5-minute session. Horry off to Drexler. Drexler limited minutes tonight because of all the flu problems. Here's Hakeem backing in on Shays. 6 seconds, 5. Hakeem, tough shot.
That time Drexler slid to the corner, but because it was Clyde Drexler, the defender stayed out on him. It gave Hakeem a little space to operate.
Hakeem now with 31 points. His high in the playoffs was 45. That coming against Utah. Kevin Johnson missing. Shays has it stripped by Olajuwon. Here comes Drexler. Clyde Drexler's going to take this one in and dump it back out now to Ellen. Robert Horry, they leave him alone, a 3. And the rebound to Kevin Johnson.
I would think you'd want better than that. That hurried 3, the high end of the shot clock, up a deuce in overtime.
We played a minute now in overtime. The Barkley touch pass to Green, stripped to the ball. Suns will have it. 10 seconds on the shot clock.
That was a heads-up play by Charles. He saw AC Green open underneath and put a lot of mustard on that pass.
Here's Barkley. Barkley, 15 points, scoring only 1 point in the second half. And it comes to Charles, backing in. And he got it as the shot clock expired. So Barkley now, maybe he's ready to step it up.
Well, that time, Gary, Robert Horry did not move his feet. If you're going to give Charles that much of a look in the lane, he's going to make them.
Tied at 94. And Shays has fouled Hakeem away from the ball. It's been Shays and Klein trying to wear down the guy who was the MVP of the NBA a year ago. Let's go back to Barkley.
See, watch Barkley. He just used his body to brush off Robert Horry. That's why he was open. He had a nice, clean look. Nailed it.
Shays picked up his 5th foul. Drexler dumps it in now to Olajuwon. Kenny Smith, 14 seconds on the shot clock. Horry looking in at 10. He wants to get it into Hakeem. Shays doing a good job on him. Horry with a 3. Robert Horry
did a nice job of faking the pass inside. Got the defender off and took a little more time and measured his shot and got it down.
9 points for Horry, who's averaged 11 in the series. Kevin Johnson ducking inside.
I'm putting him on the free throw line if he comes in there.
I tell you, Kevin has had very many of those penetrating moves in this ball game. Houston has shut that down.
I think you got to move over and put him on the free throw line. You can't let him make that unmolested layup.
Then it comes to Hakeem. 2:43 left in overtime. The Rockets by 1, and that's going to be a foul on Olajuwon. Olajuwon with 5. Shays taking a punishment, drawing the foul. That looks like one way back at the start of the ball.
Yeah,
game.
we're going to get in an argument again. I mean, there's a little bit of a flop, but there's definitely contact here. And I guess if you're going to call it that way, you're going to call it that way. The thing that I find kind of unexplainable is Houston is constantly spotting up the passer in the corner. And that allowed Dan Marley to come in and double team Hakeem Olajuwon. He had no place to go. He couldn't spin to the baseline, his favorite move.
So the Suns using their 22nd timeout. And Hakeem now operating with 5 fouls. Shays operating with 5 fouls. As we have 2:40 left in overtime and Houston up by 1.
I'd also like to point out that for the Houston Rockets, other than the Robert Horry 3 that we just witnessed, it's been only Hakeem Olajuwon that's been able to score down the stretch here.
Kevin Johnson with Smith on him to AC Green. Green dumps it into Shays. Dan Marley's hit a couple of big threes in the 4th quarter. Backs it out now to Kevin Johnson. 6 seconds on the shot clock. Marley try another 3. Wait a minute, they're going to wave it off. 3 seconds lane violation.
And I'll tell you who it was. It was Charles Barkley. He had Clyde Drexler on him. He was so concerned about getting inside position that he ignored the lane. He stayed in there. He was in there a long time.
Horry a while ago with that 3 was the 10th of the night for the Rockets. They're 10 of 28 behind the line. Kenny Smith had a notion at another tray. Out to Ellie, a 3 on the way. Air ball, Horry. Horry with the putback, and he's hit 5 big points here in overtime.
Robert Horry is everywhere, but I am just amazed at the inability of Houston to find anyone else that can score besides these 2 guys. Robert Horry, of course, was a little fortunate on that. That was an air ball by Mario Ellie. I mean, a big-time air ball. And good hustle by Horry, and gets a crier here that falls in.
And Horry can add to that advantage. He goes to the line. 99-96 Houston. Robert Horry with the 3, then the follow. He could have 6 huge points if he hits this one in this overtime. Doesn't get it. Green with a rebound. AC Green with a career high in rebounds tonight with 20.
You got to go back to KJ, even if he's just going to get you on the line.
And at 50 left in overtime, Barkley, Hakeem on him now with the 5 fouls. Barkley backing him in, and an illegal defense. That is the 2nd. They'll be shooting a free throw.
Second violation, technical.
Well, that's not bad. It's probably the lesser of 2 evils. tables because Barkley was either going to go in and score or he was going to go in and cause Hakeem Olajuwon to be out of this basketball game, or he was going to do both, score and get him out.
Kevin Johnson now 8 of 11 for the free throw line. Again, coming into this game tonight, the Suns were shooting 82% from the free throw line, best in the playoffs, now at 61 tonight.
And now they move Horry back over on Barkley.
Into Barkley, backing in on Horry. Barkley stripped by Drexler. They'll get it back with 18 seconds on the shot clock. A lot of red shirts coming after Barkley.
Well, and a very small team in there for the Suns. AC Green is at the post position right now. It's a quick team, good shooting team, but not very big.
Kevin Johnson baseline, and as he goes down the baseline, he draws the foul. The basket not counting. We have a foul inside against Kenny Smith. That'll be his third.
And I don't see anybody at the scorer's table.
Again, those of you who have joined us on TNT, we're in Game 5 in overtime. The Suns trying to close out the Rockets, and Hakeem, let's see, is it going to be Hakeem or Drexler? Let's wait. Bill Oates, I think, may have been pointing to Drexler on this foul.
For some reason,
it's Drexler, not Hakeem.
For some reason, Hakeem Olajuwon, in that little exchange, ended up guarding the wrong man. He ends up on Barkley. AC Green was supposed to be guarded by Hakeem. Nobody picked him up. AC Green just sliced to the basket and was wide open.
So the foul not on Olajuwon. It goes on Drexler. AC Green at the line. And the Suns, when they look back at this one, if they lose it, they lost it right at the free throw line. A team that was just brilliant coming in, not able to get it done here tonight. 59%. They are 19 of 33 from the line.
That's inexplicable. It's a mystery. The only thing that I can use to explain it is that they feel that they're in some sort of a comfort zone, and in that comfort zone, they don't feel they have to concentrate.
Well, they're not going to be as comfortable if they have to go back to Houston, and that's what's going to happen if they don't pull this one out. Section. Timeouts. Rockets with 2 full. The Suns with 3. The Suns do have a foul to give. The Rockets are over the limit.
Right now, Houston could use Vernon Maxwell. They need a cold-blooded, I don't care guy to just shoot the ball up. You know he's that kind of guy. He's not available to him. He's on a leave of absence. This is a short-handed team. They certainly could use the things that he could do in moments like this. Now it's going to be up to an ailing Clyde Drexler. It's going to be up to a Kenny Smith or a Mario Elie. And, of course, you've got on the floor Robert Horry and Hakeem Olajuwon. I look for the Rockets again to go to Olajuwon.
The Rockets have attempted 33s in this game. That is an NBA playoff record. They've hit 10 of 30.
I told you at half. They had 15 at half, and I told you they'll shoot that many or more.
They averaged over 21 a game in the regular season. That led the NBA attempt-wise. Rockets by 2 into Olajuwon. Drexler looking into Horry. Horry's had 5 big points in this overtime. Drexler to Elie, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Into Olajuwon, backing in on Shays to Drexler. He's fouled, and Charles Barkley picked up the foul. A slashing move that time by Drexler.
Very seldom do you see the Houston Rockets cut when passes are made into Olajuwon. That's something they probably should have been doing more of this game. That time it really paid off for him in the crunch as Drexler made that nice slashing cut to the basket. They had to foul him to stop him from scoring.
Barkley, this 4th foul. Drexler hits the free throw. They're shooting 72% from the free throw line. Drexler now with only 3 points in the ball game. But again, he has been battling the flu. He did not come to the shoot-around. He had to have IVs. He was dehydrated and just trying to prevail here and try to get it to a Game 6.
Well, again, Phoenix with the small lineup. AC Green's playing the center. Barkley at the power forward.
Kevin Johnson inside. Launches one over the back. I think it's going to be off of Kevin. Kevin thought he was fouled. The ball will go to Houston, and the Rockets now in excellent shape, leading by 4 with a minute to go.
Well, that time Kevin Johnson just kind of was out of control. Ended up shooting a very difficult left-handed shot.
We may have a Game 6. How about these Rockets? They just don't give up. They never quit. And we're going to have now an illegal defense. That's only the first, so they'll take it out on the side. 101-97.
Let's look to see if the Rockets learned something from what happened when Clyde Drexler made that cut to the basket. Hakeem is drawing such a crowd that cuts to the basket are really available once he gets possession of it.
Suns are in really dire straits now, having their 9-game home winning streak snapped, going back to the regular season. 33 seconds, 10 seconds on the shot clock. They're earning some time.
That's a good move. Take it all the way down.
Ellie with a 3. Person comes up with a rebound, and we're going to have a timeout called by the Suns.
I'd really like to see you drive at the end of that. You got a chance to get a foul. You got nothing to lose. Settled for the jumper.
Well, the Rockets, they don't want it to end here, and it may not.
Number 22, Danny Gaines returns to the Suns lineup.
What's the overtime scoring? .24 seconds left in overtime. Rockets lead it 101-97. This could be the key possession of the game. Bringing it into Barkley. Olajuwon is on Charles. Charles going to shoot a 3. Missed it. Tipped it outside to Marley. Marley gets a pretty good look. He'll fire up a 3. That misses. The rebound goes to Houston, and a foul is called on Person. I think the Rockets might pull it off. Mario Elliott is down on the court. The Rockets bench is up. What an unbelievable upset this would be if the Rockets could pull it off. Here was a team left for dead this afternoon. Clyde Drexler suffering from the flu, and look at that look on the face of the Suns. Heavily favorites. Barkley said, bring your golf clubs. You're going home.
Oh, that's what he told me before the game. Oh, Bill, I have never been more proud of a bunch of individuals have I been if the Rockets today undermanned, players sick, they're coming out here, all the odds against them, they refuse to die.
Folks, you better get your Rockets playoff tickets for Thursday night. Calvin and I want to see you at the game, and don't forget about the pay-per-view.
And Bill, I knew we were coming home. I'm going to say this now. It's going to sound ridiculous because Marching Thunder will be in the house on Thursday. My kids are home practicing. I told them we'll be coming back. Get your act together because the Rockets are going to need everything in all of our fans in their white T-shirts with number 6 on the back. I'm just so excited about this team, Bill.
And Mario with 2 huge free throws. Phoenix calls a timeout. Celebrate with your Houston Rockets. I'm telling you, the city of Houston, what an unbelievable performance. I am so proud of these guys, I can't tell you.
Robert Ory came up big. Chucky Brown came up big. Clyde Drexler came up big. He had 2 big free throws, playing the whole game with only 2 points. You know the situation that he was in. Olajuwon came up big throughout the whole game. They didn't shoot the ball well, but they hustled, they stayed together, they played smart down the stretch. They went through that span of 6 minutes where they didn't get a field goal, but they played excellent, superb defense that allowed them to have the situation now where they are up by 4. Now, the thing they don't want to do, they don't want to foul by any stretch of the imagination. Boy, fans, please come out on Thursday and support these individuals called the Houston Rockets, known as the world champions.
I want to tell you, folks, the entire city of Houston, in fact, all of South Texas for that matter, you can be so proud. The reason they call, and he's proud to be a Houston fan, but the reason they're world champions, there's no quit in that dog.
No, and you know what? Barkley said in the paper he's tired of hearing that old statement about when their backs against the wall. Well, the Rockets really don't care what he thinks. When their backs are against the wall, they come out like they're dogs in the corner having to fight their way home.
Now, folks, you can get an early start on season tickets for next year by calling 627-DUNK, DUNK. And you can also get some tickets for that, maybe that playoff game Thursday night on availability. 627-3865 for Rocket season tickets. Ticketmaster will have tickets for the Thursday game. We want to see you fans at the Summit. Now they got 12 and a half seconds left. Rockets lead it by 6.
All they got to do is play good sound defense. Don't foul. Don't stop the clock.
Ainge is in the game. He comes out high. Drexler takes it away from him. Oh, Clyde Drexler takes it away from Danny Ainge. Charles Barkley said you're going to have to kill them. They will not die. And they haven't. The Rockets with one of the greatest wins in franchise history. In overtime, Houston has forced a Game 6 at the Summit Thursday night. The Rockets 103, the Suns 97.
Without you being 100%?
No, it didn't matter who we had on the floor tonight. We were determined to win this game, and it showed pretty much from start to finish.
How do you look at the next game right now?
Well, hopefully we can come out and play the way that we played in Houston the last two games and come away with the victory.
I know you're not feeling well, so we'll let you go, Clyde. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. Anytime.
Back to you guys.
Well, that's part of that Phi Slamma Jamma connection. Clyde Drexler, as Houston picking up this win 103-97, and the other one, the other part of that Phi Slamma Jamma group is our Budweiser player of the game, Hakeem Olajuwon, 31 points, 16 rebounds, 14 of 31, and he played 50 minutes tonight. Well, Hakeem, you guys are still the champions.
Well, I just can't believe we pulled this one out because if you see the way Phoenix were playing, the aggression, they were playing so tight. So I was so surprised they let us in the game from the beginning.
Before Dick asks you a question, what is it about your toughness, the mental toughness of this team?
Well, when our back is against the wall, I think we just came out fighting and also playing loose, playing with confidence, knowing that we have nothing to lose.
All right, let's get right to it, Dream. You had 4 crunch shots down the stretch. Finally, and you didn't take any of them, finally, after a timeout, you came out and you made that very, very difficult shot, I believe, to tie the game at that time.
Yes.
And what I was curious about is, what did Rudy say to you in that timeout?
Well, he wanted me to take my shot. You know, I was looking to pass the ball earlier.
Was he firm with you?
Yeah, he said you have to take your shot.
There you go.
Yes. And I'm so glad I took it.
I would have looked you right in the eye and said, hey, we want you to take it.
All right, Hakeem, you are still alive. You staved off another elimination game. You get back to the Summit, Game 6. Your thoughts?
Well, you know, that's the way I look at this game. This game is the championship game. Now going back home, we have a new energy. You know, winning at home, coming back here for Game 7. Now it's anybody's game.
Well, I believe it. I believe it. Hakeem Olajuwon and the Rockets still alive as they're now down 3-2 in this semifinal round. Let's go to Ernie Johnson now in Atlanta.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Gary Bender. Well, folks, they say the toughest thing to do is close out a series, and the Suns and the Spurs will agree. Phoenix losing 103-97 as Houston stays alive. They go back to the Summit for Game 6.
All right, Robert, in the overtime, you came up large for the Rockets. You had 5 of the 11 points. You were able to hit a three-pointer. Then you came back and was able to get that offensive rebound, fouled by Barkley. Tell us about that span where you were able to come to the forefront for your teammates.
Well, on the 3, Barkley was guarding me. He kept backing off. So I said, hey, you know, shot clock running down. I got my feet on me, so take the 3. And luckily it fell for me. And on the rebound situation, I just try to keep my body away from Barkley because if I stay close to him, he can outpower me. So